Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Go Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayantirire Nasta Prase Avadyashi Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloki Bhakti Bhavati Naishti. Continuing from Bhagavad Gita as it is by his beloved Sri Bhakti Swami Seva Prabhupada. Seva Prabhupada ki. We are on chapter 5, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Text number 27 to 28.
No,
27 to
27.
28. Yes, that's right. Okay, we have a different meter, so we're just going to read the guest speaker. Sparsan, Fridva, Bahir, Vayams, Chakshus, Shaivantare, Guru, Pranapanao, Samao, Fridva, Nasabhyantara, Charinao, Yatindriya, Mano, Buddhir, Monir, Moksha, Parayana, Vijatecha, Vaya, Prodo, Ya, Sada, Mukta, Seva, Saha, Svasankritva Vaya, Chakshushaivantare Guru, Pranapana O Samokritva, Asabhyantara Charyam, Yatindriya Mano Buddhir, Manir Moksha Parayana, Vijate Chavaya Krodo, Yasada Mukta Eva Sa, Svasankritva Vaya, Chakshushavantare Guru, Prapapana O Samokritva, Yasabhyantara Charinao, Yatindriya Mano Buddhir, Muni Moksha Parayana, Vijate Chavaya Prodo, Yasada Mukha Eva Saha, Svasankritva Vaya, Chakshushavantare Guru, Pranapana O Samokritva, Samavyantara Charinao, Yatindriya Mano Buddhir, Muni Moksha Parayana, Vijate Chavaya Prodo, Yasada Mukha Eva Saha.
Sparshan Kritva Bhayarvayam, Chakshus Chaivantare Bhuvo, Pranapana Samokritva, Nasabhyantara Charinao, Yatindriya Mano Buddhir, Munir Moksha Parayana, Igate Chavaya Krodo, Yasada Mukta Eva Sa, saha.
Yasanamukta eva saha.
Sparsam pitva bahirbayam.
Parsantitva bahirbayam.
Sustayavantari bruvu.
Chasushenantaniru.
Panapanao samaupitva.
Pranapanaho samapitva.
Nasabhyantara charinao.
Nasavyantaracharinao.
Indriya manobodhi.
Yatindriyamanobudhi.
Nirmoksha parayanaha.
Murimokshaparayana.
Vidati chabaya krudo.
Vidate chavaya krodo.
Yasada mukta eva saha.
Yasanamukta eva saha.
Sparshantitva bahirbahyam.
Parsantitva bahirbayam.
Chakshushchaivantare dhruvo.
Chakshushayantaniru.
Pranapana samakritva.
Pranapana samakritva.
Sabyantaracharino.
Nasavyantaracharinao.
Yatindriya manobuddhi.
Yatindriyamanobudhi.
Murimokshaparayanaha.
Murimokshaparayana.
Vidate chabaya krodo.
Vidate chavaya krodo.
Yasada mukta eva saha.
Yasanamukta eva saha. Parsantitva bahirbayam. Chakshushayantaniru. Pranapano samakritva. Nasavyantaracharinao. Yatindriyamanobudhi. Murimokshaparayana. Vidate chavaya krodo. Yasanamukta eva saha. Parsantitva bahirbayam. Chakshushayantare bruvu. Nahapanao samapitva. Nasavyantaracharinao. Yatindriyamanobudhi. Murimokshaparayana. Vidate chavaya krodo. Thank you. Sparsam, sense objects, such as sound, pitva, keeping, vahi, external, vayam, unnecessary, chaksu, eyes, cha, also, eva, certainly, antare, between, remove, the arrows, prana apanao, up and down moving air, samao, in suspension, pitva, keeping, nasa abhyantara, within the nostrils, charinao, blowing, yata, control, indriya, senses, manaha, mind, buddhi, intelligence, muni, the transcendentalist, moksha, for liberation, parayana, being so destined, vidata, having discarded, icha, wishes, vaya, fear, krodha, anger, ya, one who, sada, always, mukta, liberated, eva, certainly, saha, he is. Translation and purport by his divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desires, fear, and anger. One who is always in the state is certainly liberated. Please repeat.
keeping the heart vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation, from the free desire, free aware and anger. One must always make a state certainly liberated.
Thank you. Purpose. Being engaged in Krishna consciousness, one can immediately understand one's spiritual identity. And then one can understand the Supreme Lord by means of devotional service. One is well situated in devotional service. One comes to the transcendental position, qualified to feel the presence of the Lord in the sphere of one's activity. This particular position is called liberation in the Supreme. After explaining the above principles of liberation in the Supreme, the Lord gives instruction to Arjuna as to how one can come to that position by the practice of the mysticism or yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga, which is divisible into 8-fold procedure called Yantra, Yama, Asana, Pranayama, Pranahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. In the 6th chapter of the subject of yoga is explicitly detailed, and at the end of the 5th, it is only preliminarily explained. One has to drive out the same objects such as sound, touch, form, taste, and smell by the pratyahara process in yoga. And then keep the vision of the eyes between the two eyebrows and concentrate on the tip of the nose with the half-closed lids. There is no benefit in closing the eyes altogether because then there is every chance of falling asleep. Nor is there benefit in opening the eyes completely because then there is the hazard of being attracted by sense objects. The breathing movement is restrained within the nostrils by neutralizing the up-moving and down-moving air within the body. By practice of such yoga, one is able to gain control over the senses, refrain from outward sense objects, and thus prepare oneself for liberation in the Supreme. This yoga process helps one become free from all kinds of fear and anger, and thus feel the presence of the Super Soul in the transcendental situation. In other words, Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of executing yoga principles. This will be thoroughly explained in the next chapter. A Krishna conscious person, however, being always engaged in devotional service, does not risk losing his senses to some other engagement. This is a better way of controlling the senses than by Ashtanga Yoga. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Can you bless me so that I may speak something that can please our Lord and purify all of us? Hare Krishna. So, in this text, it is speaking about one of the ways to approach the Lord, which is the Ashtanga Yoga. It's a wonderful process. Is anybody doing this Ashtanga Yoga? You, Mata, you're doing Ashtanga?
When I was a baby.
You're a baby?
Inside the womb.
Okay. That's a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in modern days, if you go to gym, there are places that cater this kind of service. They provide different kinds of yoga. Hatha yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Pranam yoga. But according to the scriptures, the best yoga is Bhakti yoga. This is the topmost yoga. By doing Bhakti yoga, all the other yogas practices are covered, or you automatically get the benefit. This Bhakti yoga consists of 9 processes. The most prominent one is the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. In this Ashtanga yoga, we control the breathing, the air coming in and out, and we concentrate in the different. It's cumbersome, it's troublesome, and there's a risk of falling asleep. So, if you fall asleep, just make sure don't snore, okay? Because you might wake up the next person beside you who's also sleeping. So, yeah, and if your eyes are open, it says that on the Ashtanga yoga, the sense objects could attract your eyes, and the mind will have thinking, willing, and feeling. For instance, you see something beautiful, the mind will generate something. You see, the mind is an acronym. But the M stands for moving. It keeps moving. It's, in the Sanskrit, chanchala. Keeps moving around, here and there. The I stands for inventing. It always comes up with something. If you see something, something comes up to your mind. If you smell something, the mind will think up with something. You hear something, the mind will come up with something. So, it invents a lot of things. The letter N stands for negative. Almost at the time, the mind is thinking. Does that happen to anybody? Mind always thinking. All the time. Okay, it happens a lot, even to the best of us. And the D, it is destructive. This is the characteristic of the mind. So this is the acronym of the mind, M-I-N-D. It's self-destructive. One time, my guru, he told us the analogy between the mind and the intelligence. Because you're supposed to control the mind with your intelligence. And he gave the example of a person who is a smoker. This smoker saw a sign on the store, says cigarette for sale. So the mind says, okay, I want to smoke. And so the intelligence says, no, it's bad for the health. And the mind says, oh, come on, 1 stick or 2 sticks, that's not going to hurt. It's bad if you smoke a pack. And the intelligence says, no, we cannot smoke, it's bad for us. And the mind would insist. And the mind says, come on, this will be for the last time. And the intelligence says, you have been saying that for the last 5 years. So the mind is always winning. If the intelligence is not strong enough, the mind will overpower the intelligence. But it's supposed to be the other way around. Your intelligence is compared to a vehicle brake. And the mind is compared to the speed. So, if the brake, the intelligence, is not working properly, what would happen? Strike. That's right, you will get into an accident all the time. So we have to exercise the intelligence. Is there a gym where you go to exercise your intelligence? Because there's a gym for working out, for sporting. But where do you go to exercise and make your intelligence strong? There is no gym for that. But there is a process. Not by reading ordinary literatures. Ordinary literatures will teach you more contamination. How to use the intelligence to become smarter than others, to conquer them, to become better than them, to be more proud. But transcendental literature will tell you otherwise. It will teach you the Shushu Seksasta. My favorite is the third stanza. Tinadapi Senesena, Eronapi Sahisena, Amadina Manandena, Elkani Sidahari. It teaches you to be more humble than the blade of life, to be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of force or truth, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. So, by reading transcendental literatures, we are actually exercising our intelligence. And this is what Prabhupada has set up for the Hare Krishna movement. In the morning we have Srimad Bhagavatam, which is like the postgraduate of the study of literatures. This one, Bhagavad Gita, is like a college degree. So, right now you are in the class for collegiate degree, transcendental degree. Because this book contains a storehouse of knowledge wherein it gives instructions in every sphere of life. Everything that has value comes in instructional manual. For instance, you got yourself a cell phone. It comes along with the manual, right? Computer comes with the manual. A car also comes with the manual. And life has a manual, and that is Bhagavad Gita. So for those who does not have Bhagavad Gita yet, I encourage you to have one. And try to read them. Try to allot at least half an hour a day, minimum. And if you have any doubt, any question, you can write it down and then come over to the temple, and every resident here might be able to help you out. Because one time when I was in Nepal, my friend Chintamani Maharaj, he told us the story of how a doctor asked him for a transcendental book, and he gave him Bhagavad Gita. And after some time, the doctor reported back to Chintamani Maharaj and said, "What kind of book did you give me? I cannot understand anything about it." Yes. The subject matters here are not just mundane topics. It talks about transcendental topics. What is outside the box, outside mundane things. It talks about first lesson that Krishna gave is that Aham Brahmasmi, which means I am a spirit soul, that you are not this body, that this body is actually a vehicle that you can use to cross over from this material plateau into the spiritual realm. Only in human life that you can achieve this. You don't see cats and dogs and cows coming in here to listen, to do some kirtan, to honor the Father. No, because only humans have sufficient intelligence for this. So we are very fortunate that we have this golden opportunity to prepare ourselves to go back home, back to God. See, Ashtanga Yoga and many other forms of yoga, they can be compared to a mountain. And on the apex or the summit of this mountain, very few can make it up there. The most famous ones to date are Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. They're on the top. But is it the all in all? Is it the sumumbalu to be on the top of this mountain? To be the richest, most famous? No. And Steve Jobs found out the hard way. He became very, very rich, only to get sick, and his money couldn't save him. Fortunately for him, one time he had on the internet, I saw, he talked about the Hare Krishna. One time he said when he was very poor, he would walk for about 7 miles to get to a Hare Krishna temple, to get some decent meal for free. It actually wasn't free. Actually, he was paying, and that payment is what you would call he's being grateful. And at the time when he had the opportunity to preach about Krishna consciousness, he did. So he's lucky. He had some Lakshmi, and at the same time, he got in touch with Krishna. So we, although we are not on that top of the mountain, there are very few of them up there, and richest, most powerful, most influential people. When they get up there, they realize that this is not it. This is not the sumum, the greatest good for myself. The success is not actually all the time about making money or acquiring many properties. Then real success or real wealth, even Jesus Christ said, real wealth is not in this world. One time, I remember a story of Swayam Bhagavan. He said that there were a few friends who flew over to Viva Las Vegas. And when they got there, they checked into Hilton Hotel. And they checked in on the rooftop. And at night, they went out and painted the town red. They had a good time. And then in the wee hours, they went back to the hotel. But to their surprise, they were exhausted. They wanted to rest. But they couldn't go up right away because the elevator was out of order. And they were on the roof, the 100th floor. So they decided to walk. Okay, might as well start, walking. So they did. While they were talking and walking, they had some good times. And when they get to about the 90th floor, one of the friends who was quiet, they started to wonder, hey, how come you're too quiet? How come you're not sharing any stories? And this quiet friend says, oh, you will not like my story. Go, come on, we will not judge you, just go ahead, tell us the story. And this quiet friend says, okay, my story is, we are almost on our room, but I left our keys at the concierge downstairs. So sometimes in life, we think we are climbing, going up and up and up and up, accomplishing things, doing many things, but sometimes we forget the key.
And the real key to everything is divinity. God is the key to everything. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, we got about 10 minutes. We'll open the mic in case you have some questions or if you want to add something. Yes, Pandit, fire away.
Before I have shared that in relation to this meditation, Vaishnava Prabhu from Cebu is supposed to meet Prabhupada here in the Philippines. Founder Acharya is supposed to attend this lecture. But when he go to that place, Prabhupada is not yet there. Then he go to Ananda Marga and do some meditation. Then what happened is that he fall asleep in meditation in Ananda Marga. Then he missed Srila Prabhupada's darshan and lecture. Vaishnava Prabhu in Cebu.
That's too bad.
That's why in his heart his longing is that he always aspiring to Prabhupada.
Yes, some things are meant to be, and some things aren't meant to be. And sometimes, because of our choices, these things transpire. You know, sometimes we want something nice. It's a long-term plan, but sometimes we choose the easy way. You know, instead of like if you want to be a lawyer or a doctor. It takes a long time. You focus, you stay on the path. There will be many thorns, many challenges, up and downs, twists and turns, but you stay on the path. But if you choose to party every night instead, you cannot be a doctor or a lawyer. You're gonna be a criminal. You need a lawyer, and when you get sick, you need a doctor. So you need sacrifices. You need the best yoga, bhakti yoga. You need to exercise your intelligence, not the mind. You need to go to the intelligence gym, which is transcendental knowledge. Because out of the 4 pillars of religion, cleanliness, austerity, truthfulness, mercifulness, the only leg now standing is truthfulness. It's very rare now to find people who are merciful. That's why people eat dead animals and making their stomachs into meat graveyards. Yes, right, don't you? Yes, they bury dead animals there. Sorry, don't be grossed out. We're about to have potato. Okay. And mercifulness, that's out the window. Very pure mercifulness. But still, it exists. Cleanliness, not just external cleanliness, but consciousness-wise, you know, our heart is also bringing austerity. That's a tough one. Self-discipline. Who has that nowadays? Self-discipline. Very few, but still it exists. And truthfulness is the one still firmly standing. Why is truthfulness still standing? Because of the scriptures. Because it's the words of God. And it will continue to stand long after we are gone. Although there are scrupulous persons who will twist them around into their own benefit. They are very intelligent in the wrong way, twisted way. Many people are like that. Okay. Any other concern? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Yeah. So earlier it was mentioned that chanting is one of the processes of bhakti. And in line with this, I'd like to ask, what if you meet a person and that person is a meat eater, and then you actually knew that the person was just finished eating the most abominable meat he has ever eaten in his life.
does that become, and then you make that person like chant the holy names of the Lord, does that become like an offense to chanting the holy names?
Thank you. According to the scriptures, there are no hard and fast rules. What is the temperature of boiling point? Just 1 degree before it boils. In the same way, you can change and touch a person's heart, even if he is very contaminated. With the holy name. The holy name is not different from the word. So, anybody that will chance this thing, they can be purified instantaneously. In my experience, before I started practicing, I'm still just practicing and fully realized devotee. I used to do all kinds of nonsense, but the devotee is still very merciful. He gave me prasadam, prapadutam. Every time I come here, they will give me a takeout. So when I go home, instead of eating nonsense, I will still be eating prasadam. So those people, you can give them workable and that help. You can make them chant, you can make them read, they can sing, give our website to them in case you're interested to follow. There are many approaches to help people. But definitely, I even heard some people say that you cannot hear Tusi if you're still eating, but I heard from one of the sannyasis says that it's okay, there are no hard and fast rules as long as we are giving chance to others. This Krishna consciousness is about second chances. Remember the story of Arjuna who has lived his life okay until about sometime when he got corrupted and he started doing all kinds of nonsense. But towards the end of his life, he was given another chance. So in the same way, Krishna consciousness is second, not just second, third, fourth, but many chances for people to reconnect with the Lord. This is actually the meaning of yoga, means to reconnect. Or religion. The etymology of religion in its essence means ligate, which means to relate or to revive, reconnect us and our Creator. Because we have lost in touch. So, and this is the best process, Bhakti yoga. Any other concern? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, is that true that the real meaning of yoga, like what you said, is reviving our original God consciousness, connect God? So, as we know, there's a lot of form of yoga practice, but what you said is that really true that the real meaning of yoga is to connect to the Lord? That's the question.
Yes, Prabhuji. According to etymology, the history of the word itself, yoga actually means to reconnect. But during the course of time, now it has become, in the modern age, business. Yoga now is touch the nose, do some animal pose, and what do you do after that? You go home and eat some meat and drink some wine. And this is the yoga of the new millennium. Right? But yes, this is the essence of yoga. Those other yogas that I mentioned here, Kari yoga, Jnana yoga, and all those other yogas, they are like stepping stones to reach to the top. And the topmost is Bhakti yoga, to reawaken our love for God. Thank you.
I would like to understand what was the question of mother.
About someone she met who is a meat eater, and is it okay to make them chant because it might be an offense to the holy name? I said no. It's actually addressing to them. The holy name will like take offense. So actually, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not come here for those who are already liberated. He came here for us, the modern day guy and the guy. But they came here us, Jagat and Malay, most fallen souls at that time. And there are many who are like this, fallen, 99.9%. And now it's still 99.9%. So we have a lot of job to do. Our job is unlimited. We will meet with a lot of rejection, we will meet with a lot of challenges, and sometimes Prabhupada says, even death, sometimes we will meet. But the devotees are fearless. It is says here, mentioned here about fearlessness. Actually, in the old age, to become fearless is not by possessing many weapons. Like, Russia, US, they have so many nuclear weapons. But are they fearless? They have so many enemies, foreign and domestic. And are they fearless now? No, they're still inventing new weapons. Because according to the scriptures, the only way to become fearless is to become Krishna conscious. In this way, you will understand everything. And what is everything? Does it mean that you will know the molecular composition of all the elements? No, everything means matter and spirit and the owner of both, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, any other concern? Or any story you want to tell? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Bhakta, Seva.
Hare Krishna.
Na-mention mo kanina yung tungkol sa transcendental literature, that's a good one. Speaking of literature, nakaraan nagpunta kami ng ibang devotees sa Quezon City, sa Ateneo. So, pinasok namin yung loob ng museum ng Ateneo. Then may nakita kami mga books. So, iniisip ko na gawain ba ito ng mga intelligent people, mga sophisticated na people, kumbaga they're into art. But kind of artful yung kanilang books. Kakaiba yun. Tapos yung iba, bastos yung title ng book. And then yung cost ng mga libro na yun, 1,000 plus, ganun, mahal. Pero yung context ng book, not that, transcendental. It is kind of crude. Compared sa mga Eastern books, Prabhupada books, isa rin, pesos, diba? Others 100. Affordable. Para sa mga tao na gusto mong magsaliksik tungkol sa Krishna consciousness. Compared sa yun nga, nakita ko sa Ateneo, it's all about doings of the intelligent people or the sophisticated people. I'm proud na hindi ako yung type na sophisticated na tulad nila na gumagawa ng mga ganang klaseng content sa So, that's all.
Thank you. Yes, there are many kinds of literature. Classified into three categories. One literature deals with the lower part of the body, with the private part of the body, which is sensual. to make a long story short, in the interest of time, the other type of literature deals with the middle part of the body. It teaches you how to fill the stomach, how to work, how to deal with things. And the third type of literature deals with the upper part of the body, the intellect, which is prose, poetry, mathematics, engineering, all that. So there are three kinds of literatures, but the fourth kind is the transcendental literature. And only those who have sufficient intelligence granted by Krishna to utilize in the proper way are able to discuss these things. If you are not qualified, even if you are so-called, highly intelligent in the material matters, you will not be able to understand transcendental literature. So we are fortunate, at least we are trying to understand. I personally have not understood clearly. I'm still in the process. And we are lucky. It's kind of like, your papers when you try to go to the US and you file it with the embassy. At least our paper is already on file. It's a work in progress. So while you are working in progress in transcendental literature, you will be able to give up those other lower type of literature. Krishna will arrange this. He is the supreme architect, supreme lawyer, and supreme doctor. He is the only man. Okay. Sorry, I have to wrap up. It's already 2 p.m. We have to proceed to our favorite part of the program, which is honoring Prasad. Only in Krishna consciousness that even while you are eating, you're still doing service for the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you for following me. Please forgive me for my offenses. Bhagavad Gita, Asura Steve, Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.